Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Daily Freedom. I am your host, Fernando from Orlando, and today I'm so excited to be interviewing a new friend, Marguerite Baca. Marguerite is an actor, a meditation teacher, a writer, a speaker, and also a comedian. She was featured in the Buns of Steel. She started meditation at 13 years old. She does roast poems, and she also teaches life skills. And the name of her theme in life skills is Stage of Life on the Stage of Life. Marguerite, I'm so excited to be speaking with you again. Welcome. How are you?
So good to be here. Thank you for having me as a guest.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. The way that I experienced you last time we met, you were presenting, you were speaking, and you had us go through two meditations. That was, I came out of that meeting transformed. So thank you for that. And in writing your bio just now, I realized that I had forgotten to write that you were a meditation teacher. Talk a little bit about the importance of meditation in your life. Why did you start so young, and what has the effect been on who you've become over the years through different stages of life, physical or metaphorically?
Well, it's because I meditate that I've been able to flow into all these different creative arenas because it does things to your brain scientifically. You can calm your nervous system, calm and clear your mind, and be receptive to that purity of spirit that can come through as intuition, intuition is a faculty of the soul. And that allows for the creativity to be fresh. Say if you're, in a state of bitterness or fear chronically, that blocks creativity and efficiency. So when you're calm, you can get more done calmly. So that's kind of sums up a little bit how it's worked for me to flow into each new stage of life with the awareness that comes from meditation. But I did get into meditation because I think I was seeking when I was a kid. I was like, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in this world. There's got to be something that we can tap into. And I did feel like in my brain, and I would experiment when I was lying out on the beach with my girlfriends, being like, okay, I'm going to have a negative thought. And like, ooh, that doesn't feel good. I could feel the biochemical reaction, even though I didn't know those words back then as a teenager. And then it's, okay, let me switch. I love life. I'm so grateful. And then boom, I could feel instantly better, And so I went back and forth. And you know what? There's something in here. How do I get tapped into that? And so one time I was at my grandma's, and I was that teenager, and you know how it is when you're a teenager. You don't want to be around the grownups because they're all dorky. They don't know anything when you're, a teenager. And so I was flipping through a magazine, and I'm bored, and I saw this ad for meditation. Do you want peace? Do you want balance? I'm like, yeah. And so I signed up immediately. I used my allowance money and signed up for lessons in the mail. I was dedicated, and my mom she was so cool. She said, "Don't bother your sister. If the door's shut, she's meditating." So that's how I got started, and it's my greatest passion in life. And I love teaching people how to meditate because I love to see people radiate and be in their joy and know they have those skills, everything within them, with that breath especially.
So I Googled a few minutes ago, Buns of Steel, and found a video of yours being a yoga teacher there. How did that happen? How did you get involved with Buns of Steel? And yeah, tell us the story. And for people that don't know what Buns of Steel is, like me, what is Buns of Steel?
Well, Buns of Steel is marketing name, right, to catch people's attention, and it did really well. That particular line of videos at the time had 65% of the fitness video market. And when they started noticing that, oh, people don't want just buns and abs and arms and still, they're getting into yoga now. And so they did a little scouting around. The producer, she came out of Paramount Studios, and so the first place they looked, of course, LA, that's where I was living in. I had just started teaching. I'd been teaching for 5 years, and my classes were really taking off. And so this producer, she started hearing my name. And so she called me in for an interview. And so basically, I remember what I was wearing. I was wearing black jeans, tight, so I could reveal my quote unquote assets. Oh my God. So here we go with the buns. So she literally, it wasn't a casting couch. This woman was a serious business. She had me stand up and turn around. So apparently something between my personality, my popular classes, and the buns qualified me. So that's what happened.
That's wonderful. And so you landed that deal. I watched about 10 minutes, maybe less, of the video. You were going into meditation already in the video, in a very beautiful scenario there. So you had been teaching for 5 years, you said?
Yes.
Where in LA? Because I was, for a short amount of time, I was an owner of a yoga studio in LA.
Oh,
So,
you were?
Santa Monica, to be exact.
Wow, you were one of those. Okay. So that was my area. I lived in Santa Monica, West LA, Marina Del Rey for years. And that was my side of town that I was born and raised on that side of town. And so I was teaching everywhere. Gold's Gym, even, where the bodybuilders, and I was telling these big dudes what to do, and how to stretch and whatnot. But the place that they found me at was a club called Sports Connection in Santa Monica.
Wow.
And when I first started, yoga wasn't that big. There were, I think, like 4 people in this class. And like a month later, 2 months later, wall to wall, 50 people.
Wow.
And so that was one of the places. And then suddenly you saw how it boomed. There were yoga studios on every corner.
Yeah, totally. The one that I had was, I believe, on 7th.
7th Street.
Yeah, 7th. Yeah, across from Ralph's.
I know.
I think they changed names now.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the old name, but it was, I think, the biggest one in the area.
Your studio?
Yeah, I had it for a little bit.
You don't want to say the name?
I don't want to say the name.
I know, we have our little skeletons. I've got my yoga.
Yes. I want to, I don't know. There might be some things to be cleared.
Yeah. Oh, there's a point I want to make to our audience, viewers. I do this thing, when you meditate and you get a sense of the cycles of where you are in life. And that's part of moving into the stage of life graciously, where life is calling you. And so I do kind of like what the Indians, Native Americans, they call it vision quest. I mean, that's a way to put it. And so when I meditate, I get a sense of where I am, if I'm finished with a particular thing in my life, and where life is calling me. And so I started getting this thing, it's like vision of a yoga video. And so I'm kind of arguing with the sacred source. So I was like, what? How am I going to do a video? And I was like, so I Google, I checked. I don't think we had Google then, but researched how much would it cost to do a video. And back then it was about $15,000. No way. And then people kept saying, you should do a yoga video. You should do a yoga video. So I said, okay, I surrender to the vision. It's pulling me. I wrote a prayer for it to be, give people well-being and this, and, all this words. And I reaffirmed that every day. And I had pictures of other people's exercise videos on my vision board. And I did that for 2 months. And then 2 months later, Paramount Studios called me, and I still have that prayer and the date. So this is what I'm talking about. It's not just making things happen. It's what is life opening to me? And when you meditate and you feel and you know, and not everybody needs to know your vision. It's your vision. So that's yeah. So I'm really happy I got to make that point.
Thank you for that. I've been looking for someone to collaborate on vision boards. And this is the first time I hear you talking about vision boards. So maybe after this,
I'm your vision board gal. I've been doing vision boards since the age of 19. And you think of them kind of like what do you call those? Tibetan sand art? Mandalas, sand mandalas.
I remember Japanese. I don't know Tibetan, but I remember a Zen garden that was. Is it different then?
Where they do a maze with different colored sand, and they make art, and then they just
wow.
blow it away.
Oh, I have not seen
so
that.
It's a practice of non-attachment. You let go. So I'm bringing that up because that's how I think of my life and a vision board. You've got these visions, and then you play it out. It's obsolete because I've manifested. I've experienced those things. Just clean it.
Wow. Clean the stage for the next stage.
Exactly.
Wonderful. I'm looking at my notes here. We could talk about this in so many, go in different tangents here. And I want to cover our points for at least this first chat here with you. Roast poems. What are those? I know what they are. Why did you start doing them? And I can tell you're very passionate. It seems like you love doing them. What are those? And how do they happen through you? Because it seems like it's a, you told me it's a 2-week process, it seems.
Average for a poem. Yeah. It comes through me, as you know, everybody's ideas and creativity can come through them when you open to life. So they started with a friend who I just love. And this is a person, she has it all. I mean, every bit of wealth and comfort and everything. And I thought, well, what do I get this friend who has it all? And all of a sudden the poem started coming through, and it makes fun of her in a playful way, but exact truth and details, and her friends and relatives. I gotta go, wow, that's so you. And so somebody heard me do that, and then they hired me to write one for a loved one. And this loved one, whom I never met, I just did some interviewing, got some details, and from another friend, and it just comes through. And that person's essence and these poems, they just rhyme, wake me up. So first thing in the morning, I'm trying to cook dinner until it's done. And they average about 2 weeks.
I love how you said, what can I give this friend who has already everything that perhaps, as far as possessions or money could buy, and a poem like that to me is so precious to put that much energy into a gift. That I love that. How about you share a little bit about your comedian phase or stage, or why did you become a comedian?
Okay, I'll get to that. Can I read 2 stanzas?
Yes, please read the 2 stanzas of the roast poem.
Yeah, I brought a few, so I'm just going to read you a little bit. And this was for when I was hired to write this for a person who has it all. And his wife hired me. So here's just 2 lines. While tried and true to those he loves, he's an incurable flirt with no hope of reform. Why not? His dapper flair and panache exceed the norm. It's part of his gene pool to strut like a stallion. He can't help it. He's half Italian.
Yeah. So and there's 2 pages on that poem?
Yeah, that's one page.
Oh, it's 1 page on that poem.
With I don't know, 7 stanzas. And that's kind of average. I think 7 or so, 8 stanzas. One does go into, they come out different. Each one comes out, but they're pretty much on 1 page. And so that was shared at his birthday party. And everybody got a kick out of it. And of course, he felt very special because it's very detailed information about the individual.
It's special. It's interesting what happens when someone puts that much attention on the life of another. That, of course, you are special. I know you are a polymath even. And for those of you listening and watching, consider that if one was to put 2 weeks giving a special attention to anyone in their lives, that magic can happen. It's not just Marguerite, even though Marguerite is exceptional. That for those listening, watching, I challenge you to, for 2 weeks, put special attention to someone in your life, and start taking notes, and then see what happens after 2 weeks of daily note taking, meditation, prayer. As a test, I challenge you for that.
Yeah. If everybody practiced that more, huh?
Yes. And you and I were brainstorming before we started recording how perhaps there might be a future class where you be showing people how your process for writing these poems, that, in the future, if there is such a thing, there'll be an invitation for the listeners and the
Yes. Watch for that in the future.
Yes. What do you want to talk about next? Comedian or stage of life skills?
Oh yeah, you were going into comedian, so we'll go back to that. Well, when I moved from Los Angeles, that's, I was born and raised there. So going for auditions was just like an extracurricular activity. And plus I came from a family of showbiz people. So it was like, this is what you do, I've got my grandmother and grandfather were both dancers on the road. I even saw a review of them in Billboard. It said, hot, hot, hot. They were described that way.
Wow.
And then my great grandmother, I got to know her. We had 5 generations of women alive for some time, and she played piano for the silent movies. And so she had chest drawers of sheet music, 5 cents, 10 cents from way back. So we grew up singing every era of music and dancing. So our family, we just sang and danced, it was just natural. And so I was performing there, film, TV, bands, theater, modeling, what have you, commercials. And then when I moved to San Diego, that was a little slower life. And then it was a little too slow for me. Just flip-flops and good weather was fun, but I missed the creative edge. I do have a variety of flip-flops though, and a variety of hoodies. I've got fancy hoodies, laid back hoodies, what have you. But so I thought, how can I get back on stage? Because I like to go from solitude of meditation to stage and nowhere really in between. So how can I get back on stage? So open mic, let's go to comedy clubs and do 2-3 minutes and bomb. I bombed a lot, but it's just for fun. And then I'm like, this is cool. And it's a lot of flexibility. I could still earn a living and doing other things and go to open mic anytime. And then, of course, I had to go and start studying the craft. And next time I'm staying up till 2 a.m. I'm studying. Oh, how did I get that laugh? Oh, there's a definition. Here's what you do exactly. And so then I gave myself a challenge. I heard that getting, 6 laughs per minute. They call it LPMs, laugh per minute. And so I'm studying Ellen and all these people. They come out, they do their thing. It's like 1 laugh, 2 laugh, 3. Oh yeah, I get 6. Ooh, that person got 7 laughs per minute. So finally, one of my shows, I got 7 laughs per minute. I thought, yeah, I hit my goal, And having the confidence to laugh and break the ice with people is something you can do in every area of your life, right? And they say that laughter is the shortest distance between people. Yeah. So
wow.
It really is. It's a great way to connect with people and ease tensions.
For people that may categorize themselves as someone who's not funny, want to work on that and become funny, what would you tell them? What would be like a crash course? How do people become funny?
Oh,
Or how do you write your material to get those 7 laughs a minute?
there is humor, absurdity everywhere. Everywhere. When you look at how the stupid stuff people do, and I'm also a people every day. So if you just write down like the most ridiculous, especially petty stuff. I mean, if you watch like Seinfeld, that's what the show is about. All these characters are just petty and trying to get their way and manipulate. And so please look for that. I mean, and it's every day, everywhere, but I do that aside from all the seek out kind people, the ones I'm going to welcome into my personal world for sure. Only kind people. Yeah. So that's why I met Fernando through a very kind person. I'm messing up the couch. Tidy up. So what you do, write down whatever most painful, crazy thing, your friend, your family, your neighbor, your boss, things that are aggravating you, and write down exactly what they are doing and what you are doing. And when you're looking at it, that's ridiculous. Oh my gosh. And then it's absurd.
I love that. I remember going through a phase of, I think I started reading 2 comedy books on comedy writing. And the challenge that I was going through was I wanted to be a funnier person. And I remember one thing that I tried, and it felt natural for me, was to speak 3 things. So for thing number 1, thing number 2, they are alike. And then thing number 3, it's very different. So you set the stage. Is there a name for that?
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, that's a classic tip. Oh gosh, what do they call it? Where it's a surprise.
Right. Yeah.
Oh gosh,
You're conditioning with the 1, 2, and then the 3.
And then it's a twist.
Yeah.
Right. There is a term that is a classic thing to do. You know what's another classic thing to do is real simple. Any words that start with a sound, oh, that's kinky. Oh, that's quirky. Or you're like those, they're like the new modern girdle, Spanx. Anything with a K sound gets laughs. Oh, another thing, the word balls. Anything with balls. Balls to the wall. Anything with the word balls, for some reason, you throw that in.
I love it.
Shortcuts.
I was listening to a book yesterday. No, it was actually a podcast, and it was about this guy in his 80s, and he teaches entrepreneurs how to have better businesses. And he was talking about how the importance of humor in life, and how if a client, someone wants to become his client, he won't take the person as a client if they are not very humorous, because he believes that a person that, if they don't have humor, they're still living in a mentality of anxiety. They haven't done their inner work yet. Maybe they need to see you and learn meditation. But it's interesting that you say, laughter is the shortest distance between 2 people. And yesterday I heard that as a standard for someone taking on a client or not, that they need to be somewhat funny or have humor. Something to the extent that to be serious about the mission, but lighthearted on the actions.
Oh, I like that.
Something about that. You want to serious about the mission, and the way it happens is the actions are with lighthearted. Yeah.
Oh, that totally makes sense. That's how I teach yoga and meditation. Those are serious for maintaining health, for maintaining peace, for maintaining, creative spirit. But there's laughter and lightheartedness. And people use that word to describe my classes, lighthearted.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and I love to add that. A lot of people who meditate, they tap into this. For instance, I've kind of related to Seinfeld and the Dalai Lama. They both, I noticed, these two guys, they're cheerful, they laugh, they see the funny and all petty, absurd little things we do. And I do too. So I feel like I've got this thing in common. I found out that Jerry Seinfeld has been meditating for 40 years.
Wow.
And I should have known. Also,
Interesting.
mhm.
Taking notes here, folks. You taking notes too? Start them at, if you didn't start at 13, like Marguerite did, well, start now. It's start now.
Start now. Yeah.
I remember you taking us, the group here, be through a meditation. We didn't talk about this offline. If you like to take people through one of the meditations here, we don't have to, but
Time permitting.
Yeah.
How much time do we have?
We have about another, maybe say 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think we can do this.
Maybe do.
Yeah, I did 2 meditations, and this ties in with the life skills. I think we were gonna talk
Yeah, if
about
you want
that.
to talk yeah, if we can talk about life skills now and then leave the meditation to the end.
Right, because that'll introduce why we do these meditations.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay, want me to do it? I'll do it.
Yeah. So you want to do the meditation first, or talk about the life skills first?
Life skills.
Okay, so let's talk about life skills. So, why life skills? What's so important about teaching life skills?
Well, these are very particular life skills that lead to moving graciously on the stage of life, on the stage of life, whatever stage that life is calling you to. Kind of like the when I could feel it was time to move into yoga, and then all of a sudden the video, and then even then after that, as Fernando and I were discussing, the world of yoga got so saturated. There was yoga studios on every corner. So then I started thinking, well, what else is calling to me? And then the comedy. So then all of a sudden I'm deemed the first yogini comedian, and I'm speaking at the Sedona Yoga Festival and doing comedy. So it was this stage, and it's very individual. So that's what I'm talking about. Everybody's got their own fingerprint, and nobody else has it. And you're here, your voice, your fingerprint. We need your expression on the earth. So you're here for a reason. And so the life skills that I teach tie in with meditation, and not big, long, dragged out meditations. Is learning how to use the breath to turn within and not blank out. It's not like okay, I'm not going to think. Don't think about anything. Don't think about anything. Don't think. Don't think. No, it's about calming down so you can hear and observe and identify. Oh yeah, I feel a little tension here, and gosh, I feel so excited about this. Or, oh, that person, what they said to me yesterday is still bugging me, and let me get to the bottom of this and why. So you turn within and become aware of yourself, one, and then secondly, identify what it is I'm thinking, feeling, and then third, you consciously choose, oh, is this something that's good for me or not? Or this person I'm thinking about or feeling, is that what they said? Is that good for me or not? And then you can make a choice and take action. So you're going from like dreaming to deciding to doing. And so you're moving consciously. You're not just falling unconsciously into stuff. And especially victim. The victim is a tired old story, isn't it? And let me tell you, I know the victim story. I have been it, and it's we do get victimized in certain situations. That's true. But continuing to allow yourself to be victimized. If you have a choice to pull yourself up by the bootstraps, find gratitude, so that you can move graciously into what life is calling you to do. And there's countless gifts every day that we easily miss if we're focused on being a victim. I mean, one thing, at the very least, and be grateful for that breath.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. Amen.
Yeah, totally. Someone was, I was sharing with someone today. The question in one of the groups I'm part of was, what do you do to enhance your productivity? And I said something to the effect of close my eyes for 2 minutes and do deep and slow breaths. So it's slowing down to speed up, slowing down to speed up.
Oh my gosh, that is so powerful. That simple thing he just said, do that. Because he, just 2 minutes to consciously breathe. And that's a weekly assignment that I give my students. I teach this life skills program, includes meditation at USD. And every week I give them the same homework assignment. Once a day, conscious breath. Because people say, I don't have time to meditate. Well, pay me to meditate, right? For you. That isn't going to work. So I'd be rich though, huh? So I said,
I'll do it for you. Done for you meditation. Yeah, you don't have to do it.
No, DIY, do it yourself. And but I give them this one assignment. Just do one cycle of conscious breath a day. And then what you find sometimes, if you just do it, then you'll go, I guess I'm lost in it. And it's happened to me. I'm in my car and I'm thinking, okay, I just finished that. Now I'm going to let go, get ready to do this other thing. Take that breath to integrate what I just did and move forward into what I'm going to do next consciously. I give them that assignment, and because I know if they get hooked, they're going to hopefully get hooked on that conscious breath. So that's.
Please talk more about and I remember now something I learned from your last talk, transitions. So going from appointment to appointment or from activity to activity and having that transition.
Yeah, I'm glad you remembered that, because that's what it's about, conscious transition. So I'm talking about little mini transition, right? So before I came here, I had a little errand and I breathe. Okay, I'm done with that. Now, in my car, getting ready, breath, conscious. Now, I'm going to greet people on Fernando's podcast, and between us and our vivacious joy, hopefully, well, my intention, I'll speak for myself. You can speak for yourself. I don't know about you, buddy, but I'm here hopefully to uplift people.
Me too.
You do? All right.
Me
Okay.
too.
Okay.
We share the same.
Okay. We share the same thing. So I made that conscious transition. And so after I leave here, I'm going to take a breath. Oh, that was fun. That was cool. Next, go home, eat dinner, whatever, and get into what I've got to do next. So it's just like the big stages of life I'm talking about. A good example is empty nesters, like moms, prepare. If those kids are going to college, it's not going to be as noisy in the house. Think ahead about what you want to invest your energy in, so you're not left there getting too nosy and butting in your kid's life. Let them go, and you get going with your new stage of life. That's just one example. Yeah. So those are big stages. So what Fernando's talking about, the little stages all day long. You've got these little stages. Where am I at now? Lunch, meeting, do my bills, so you breathe between each thing.
I love that. it's I got to do that. I'm gonna do it for the next 7 days. I'll let you know how it goes, because it's such a beautiful thing. Because each conscious breath, the times I remember to do them, or for 6 months, I had alarms every 3 hours that I would stop whatever I was doing, and I would meditate for 4 minutes. And whoever I was with, I would ask them. And the alarm was a song, a classic song for 4 minutes. So like, is it okay if we just close our eyes and meditate for 4 minutes, or just take slow breaths? And most people would say yes. I'm like, okay, let's do it. I don't do that anymore because, I guess I graduated. But now
Did you establish the habit
I
from doing that?
I established the habit. I did have reminders, but something told me, okay, now you conquered, you're ready for the next big challenge, which longer work periods without interruption, without those interruptions of those 4 minutes. And what I think I can introduce now in my life is having sometimes back-to-back client meetings or business meetings or podcasts, which are my favorite. It's podcasts, it's talking with people like you, is can have a one deep breath, one full cycle of conscious breath to transition. So I acknowledge what just occurred, thank myself, thank the other, bless the moment that was co-created, and then bless the moment that's about to be co-created.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm able to do all these different things I do. As people are surprised, like, what? You did that so fast, or oh, you didn't wait. No, because it does, it's those smooth transitions instead of, what happens when it's not a smooth transition? Clumsy, absent-minded, forgetfulness, stub your toe, make mistakes. So that conscious breath, tired just thinking about all that, just like, oh God, so yeah, if you're clumsy and all of that and forgetful, how many of you have this is a common car, and you say, did I? Uh-oh, something happened with the mic. I did something. Sorry. Oh, did I lock my car? And you go like this to hear the beep, right? So instead of going, getting out of the car, beep, lock the car. I conscious every step of the way. It saves so much time.
The little act, yes. Okay, can I share something with you?
Yeah.
So I started, after I did my hypnotherapy certifications, NLP certifications, I started playing with how much I can program myself then with the ideas of the Atomic Habits, which is a book on how to create habits and talks about triggers. So I was like, what is something that I do almost every day or once a week? And it's starting my car. I start my car. So it was like, is there something that I can attach, a meaning I can attach to me starting the car, which I have a car that I really love to drive, which is, really nice sound when I started, the motor, it makes me feel like, wow, this is great. And then I start attaching meanings that as soon as I start the car, I am now a ... And I could, say here what the identity is, which is a confident, fun, clear-minded, a visionary, fun, forgiving, compassionate.
He is all that. But anyways.
So the reason I'm sharing here for folks listening, watching is, if you haven't been around the idea of creating habits, use things you do every day, such as brushing your teeth, drinking water. For those of you that drink water, I hope everyone is drinking enough water. But such as eating or brushing teeth, that before you do the thing you're going to do every day, then add a meaning to it. And that meaning is something that you want to establish in your life. And it could be, say, if you want to then add a second habit, which is working out or doing push-ups, that before I brush my teeth every day, I will do 10 push-ups. Or before I brush my teeth every night, I'm going to take a deep breath. On the way to becoming a meditation teacher or not, or just remembering to lock your car. But it's doing the things you do every day. Like as soon as I take my shoes off, it means that I am loved, I am home, I love myself.
I like that one.
All the things that we do every day, we can start attaching meanings and start playing these games that can turn a habit, that something that's unconsciously competent, into now a fun thing.
Oh yeah, like an affirmative, magical feeling. Yes, I
And
love
you can
that.
attach that to jackets, to certain boots, to certain clothing, that this is my fun jacket. This is my confident hat. This is my friendly.
Symbolic stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's affirmative objects. Yes.
Marguerite, it's been wonderful. What would you like to leave folks with as a thought, as a feeling, as we start completing this conversation?
I would like to leave you with the suggestion to ask questions all day, because your subconscious, or I'm not sure some part of you will hear that question and answers come in calmness. For instance, I have a couple of questions I ask myself every day in that calmness. Conscious breathing is the science, the way to come into that, a master calmness. But get into calmness as best you can. And then by asking, here's my favorite: what can I do today to take care of my health? And, don't be stuck. It doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, I'm going to eat more vegetables or tofu, right? It could be, I really need to clean the dust off. I've been looking at that layer of dust. I need to dust, or I need to file those documents. You'll find it almost gives you like these things can give you this ease and well-being. Otherwise, these things that you're not handling, it could be needing to set a boundary with somebody. And then even then, those can be touchy things. Well, how do I set a boundary with this person? Then you ask, what's the best way for me to set a boundary? Should I say something, text something? If so, what are the words I should write? Should I block this person? It could be the answers can be different, but they're different from your head than they are from your soul, the intuition of your soul. Your soul wants to guide you. Your sacred source always wants to guide you to life's countless gifts. So ask questions in that calmness for your answers. And okay, on the bigger cycles, where am I in the cycles of life? And start to foresee, get a sense. Okay, I've just planted the seeds for this situation. Like, for instance, this podcast, this is planting a seed. I went to this networking where Fernando and I met, and there was a speaker there that planted a seed. I met other cool people there and Fernando, and so I'm doing this, and this is a blooming of that seed, right? And so it's going to bloom and bloom and bloom. Just watch out. And then it comes to harvest. Right. So there's going to be this fruition of productivity and maybe even products, merch, as they call it.
Do you have any merch?
Merchandise. Merch. Well, yeah, I had some merch. It's a little bit part of my past cycle. Well, from my comedian show, I had these T-shirts, and some people took it the right way. Some people did not. It came through to a meditation. It said, meditation is the new orgasm. Because I get off. I mean, meditation really, I love this. I'm passionate about it. Some people got it, and then other people just like, well, can't you do both? But no. So that's my merch. I still have some leftovers.
Click on the link below.
Click on the link below. If you really want that. I also have the Buns of Steel I put it on DVDs, but people aren't even using DVDs. So that's the last of my merch. I'll come up with some new merch, folks.
People want to get in touch with you. How can they find you?
They can find me at my website, which is really easy. It's just my name. I got tidy up things. I'm one of those people that straightens out pictures too.
The frames.
I do. I saw it was driving me nuts. I was in an office and I was like, oh my God, don't do it. Just leave it alone. Anyways, my www.margueritebaca.com.
And links will be wherever this podcast is broadcasted to. Thank you, Marguerite, for sharing your light, your fun. We didn't get to do the meditation, but we can do it next time if you like.
Yes.
I really appreciate you. Let's chat about that vision board. Very excited that you actually have this amazing story. And I have one too, but I'll share it next time. And thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. And it really is fun. And you know what? That's the main thing. It's fun. That's the result of doing these practices and the things that we're sharing. You end up having fun.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, totally. And meditation, it's been, I think, the best thing I started doing in my 20s. So I highly recommend everyone to. I didn't start as early as 13. I was praying. I was doing prayers, but it's a little different, and I like both now.
Yes, both. Affirmations, prayer, I hear you. Breathing. And you got all this for free today.
I love it. Folks, there you have it. Go check Marguerite Baca in her website. Spells MargueriteBaca.com.
And if you want a rose poem, I've got a whole process. If you've got a loved one, I don't need to know the person. I've got my process for interviewing you as if you want to give that person who has it all a rose poem.
Yes, give the gift of a rose poem. Contact Marguerite. Be well, folks. As I usually say, whatever inspired you today, share it with at least one person. If you share with two, better. If you share with three, you're winning. Because the inspiration and transformation, the insight will sustain based on sharing. If it just stays in the mind, it may last, some time. But if you share it, the more you share, then others will start seeing you project onto you what you shared with them. They now have a new expectation, and usually we go in places in life in relationship to the expectation that our peers have of us. So surround yourselves with people that expect the best for you and also the future you, and meditate and share this, comment. There'll be some links with gifts below, link to Marguerite's site. And I'm glad to also offer starting New Year's 52 weeks of freedom. If you want to be in that, and 52 weeks of freedom, whoever signs up will also get a spot for a significant other, a business partner, or a friend at no cost. That way there's two of you going through a 52 weeks of freedom program, not just you.
Love that for word freedom. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Marguerite.
Yeah.
Till next time, folks. All right. Enjoy, live freely.